Chapter 3, The Lower Case. You free fall to the streets below, dropping 10 stories before you tense your muscles and feel your flight powers kick in. Most people think flying feels like floating, but you know it feels more like swimming. Floating and swimming are the same thing, practically. It takes a lot of muscle control and endurance. Okay, I guess if you're floating, you don't necessarily have to control your muscles. But if you're not floating, it's really hard to swim as well. I mean, you can move underwater, but would you call that swimming? It's just the act of moving through water is swimming. I think of swimming as being at surface level. But you could make a strong argument. It's just semantics. Luckily, you've been training for years, the way a runner trains for a marathon, so you can fly today without much trouble. You pull upward, feeling gravity work with you instead of against you. You stretch out your arms and climb up into the sky, the exertion causing a familiar tingling in your abs. You allow yourself one joyride up into a bank of clouds before swooping back down toward the cover of the skyline. Having your hero license makes flying legal, but you still don't need to start your career with an unregistered flying ticket. So you cruise, but I am registered. So you cruise low against the buildings toward the heart of the city, toward downtown MC. Every time you use your powers, your power level lowers. Different power uses exert different costs. For example, this kind of normal flying only lowers your power by 2. However, thanks to the flying upgrade to your costume, regular travel flying doesn't exert any power at all. It's important to keep an eye on your power level as you begin to enter battles, but right now, you're strong at 100, okay? It's gonna be hard to keep track of. They didn't explain how I got power points back. That's really irritating. Your flight from the eastern fringes takes you across the quaint brownstones of Rain Hill and through Valor Park. Pulling in closer to the high-end metal giants that mark downtown, you land on a ledge lined with silver statues of Greek gods and goddesses. One of the hardest parts of being a rookie hero is finding cases, a fact you're reminded of as a pink-clad heroine bothers some teenagers in a nearby alley, and 3 metal sentries thunder through the sky above you. Even if you are lucky enough to stumble upon a decent case, you'll still have to beat out dozens of other aspiring heroes to accomplish the mission and get credit. So how are you going to find your very first legitimate hero opportunity? I have a PFPP agent? I'm just going to patrol the streets. Yeah. Hero classifieds are for losers. Wait, didn't like that? Oh, maybe it's a bit stereotypical, but you like to look at pounding the pavement as a true classic. You're about to dive off the roof and begin combing the streets, until you think of all the heroes you saw trying the exact same thing. You have to ask yourself, is this really the best use of your time? You're looking to rise as fast as possible. Why? Just do it eventually. Speed, I mean, before you die, I guess, but like, speed's not the #1 thing here, I don't think. Your parents aren't getting any, whatever. You're looking to rise as fast as possible, which means you want to do more than stop petty robberies and assaults. You want a case that's going to make a splash. So you settle back on the ledge, realizing you're going to have to start thinking bigger if you're ever going to make it in this industry. Okay, let's talk to Jenny Yu, who I prognosticate will be a potential love interest. When your life has turned upside down by your parents' imprisonment, one of the only people you could trust was the PFPP agent assigned to your case, Jenny Yu. Even though Jenny doesn't have powers of her own, she loves powered hero stuff just as much as you do. So when you had no one else to talk to, you and Jenny would spend hours gushing about all your favorite heroes, games, and comics. Of course, Jenny is the first person you want to call to tell about your heroic start, especially since she'll have advice on how to find a good first case. You hold your arm up and press a button on your metal wristband, popping open a panel to reveal your embedded me chip. You can't imagine what life was like before humans merged with their tablets. Algernon does so much for you. Hell, most days he even feels like your best friend. You also have your me chip to thank for your powers, since the current accepted powered origin theory is that advanced technology paved the way for powered abilities. This theory suggests that once humans integrated with tablet technology, these tablets begin to cover many basic functions, like memory and navigation, for example. Once adjusted to this technological enhancement, the human body was able to evolve and unlock new potential in the form of powered abilities. Am I misremembering, or in Chapter 1, didn't we say that, like, Millennial City is unique because it has a 1 in 3 ratio of powered people to non-powered people? Well, so this implies that Millennial City is the only city that has this technology. And why would that be? I must be misremembering something. These powers then began to solve pressing global problems, since humans could now do things like generate natural resources and survive in harsher conditions. It seems that the early 21st century technological boom laid the groundwork for the 22nd century powered boom, which has once again caused the world to change in startling and exciting ways. However, despite the Me chip's ceaseless wonders, you currently just need it to make a call. Algernon, you say. Call Jenny Yu. Right away, sir. Me chip Algernon echoes in your ear. Please send Miss Yu my warmest regards. Jenny picks up right away, her face appearing holographically in front of you. Am I currently flying? Since she's just a geek... Oh, since she's such a geek, you tend to forget how pretty Jenny is. Oh, man. This is awkward. She's half Korean, half British. She always wears her hair in a tight ponytail and never applies a bit of makeup, causing her to appear sleek and no nonsense at all times. Is she a Mary Sue? Jenny is your best gal pal, and you even go to clubs together sometimes since Jenny likes the ladies as much as you like the fellas. Right now, Jenny looks a bit surprised to see you, probably because she has never seen your Taserface costume before. Right, I forgot I chose to be homosexual. That's totally cool. Of course. What's she sound like? She's British as well. More British people, great. I assume this means your grandma gave you your license. And by a trace of British, you mean a really strong but bad British accent. Jenny says, traces of her British accent still present despite years of living in Millennial City. You mean you knew Grandma had my license and you didn't tell me? You ask, mildly offended. Please, your grandmother would have murdered me if I'd ruined her surprise. Anyway, check your email for your birthday present. Jenny says, looking you over. And just so you know, that costume makes your waist look bloody enormous. That Jenny, such a charmer. Not missing a beat. You shoot back. You're just jealous. You've caught me. I am positively batty with envy. Now I have to run, but I've got another tip for you. A fingertip, if you will. Oh, gross, Jenny said, chuckling to herself. Wait, what does that? Before you can finish, Jenny hangs up on you. One of her favorite things to do. Knowing that calling her back would be useless, you ask Meechip Algernon to open your email instead. And sure enough, Jenny has sent you quite a fantastic birthday present. A link to a hand-picked heroic case listing. Maybe she's not so intolerable after all. You smile as you start to read. Because the case has been sponsored by Rexford Schiller's, MC's wealthiest playboy. His family had a major stake in... So, playboy... Does that just mean, like, a person, like, born into money who doesn't really work and just kind of runs around having fun with all their money? Because, like, it doesn't necessarily mean porn, right? I don't know. His family had a major stake in the construction of the Big Sur fusion plant that now powers all of Western America. Turns out, Rexford recently held a charity gala at his townhouse for the Powered Orphan Fund. Naturally, it was the must-attend event of the social season, especially since the theme was a powered masquerade ball. The party was a smashing success, but the next day, Rexford woke up to find one of his most prized possessions had been stolen, all the orphans. A party guest managed to get past the considerable security measures and steal a valuable Angelino artifact, the Gravitas, a mysterious rod rumored to have hidden powers. What little is known about the Gravitas makes it one of a kind, highly valuable, and potentially dangerous. The police are looking into the theft, but Rexford wants the artifact back so badly that he has opened the case up to any powered hero, with a reward of $150,000. You nearly choke. That's a lot of money. With such a large reward at stake, along with the inevitable media coverage surrounding the high-profile case, you know the competition on this one is going to be fierce. So Jenny didn't really get me an exclusive contract, she kind of just pointed me at a public listing. So she really didn't do anything at all. You check the page views on the listing, and of course it has already been visited thousands of times. Point proven. Still, you promised yourself you'd go big or go home. This would certainly qualify as going big. Though the real reason you want to take this case is because... I don't believe the Gravitas would really hurt people if it fell in the wrong hands, because they're just rumors. I don't believe that at all. I don't care what the police think about me. Let's go to the press coverage. I don't know. Why am I doing this? It is for the press coverage, right? It's... From all I've been reading, it seems like we're doing this for the press coverage, so let's stick with that. This can help launch you into at least D-list fame in MC, a solid place to start your climb. Unfortunately, the only clue available on this case is a photo of the suspected thief, who was an unnamed +1 guest at the gala. Gala? I feel like a lot of paragraphs begin with unfortunately, like every other page. The photo features a man dressed in an expensive suit and wearing a mask themed after regalia? A very flamboyant hero/rock star. To match his emerald-encrusted mask, the thief's suit is lined with green piping and his fingertips are painted purple. That's cool. The photo isn't a whole lot to go on, so you start to wonder what kind of, but then a thought hits you so hard you almost fall off the ledge. Jenny's fingertip! She's a genius, you think, knowing those fingertips may be your one shot at solving this case before anyone else. Why? Do you remember what color the thief's fingertips were painted? You just said it like a friggin' page ago! How could I forget? That's right! His fingertips were purple. This is a very important detail that no one else is bound to know the significance behind. Really? MC's government requires that large-scale building projects designate a portion of their budget to powered arts spending. Since Grandma has a particularly green thumb, she sometimes cultivates unique flowers commissioned by emerging property owners. One of Grandma's biggest sales was a species of crossbred orchids that sing classic operas. That's amazing. It took Grandma years to achieve this horticultural miracle, and there was one flaw in the design. If you touch one of these orchids, it turns your fingertip a different color, depending on the opera it was trained to sing. Grandma sold these orchids exclusively to one downtown high-rise building. This means that if the thief's fingertips were painted purple from Grandma's orchids, which we don't know that they did, you know exactly where he lives, since only the penthouse apartment got the purple Carmen orchids. That's the reason Jenny sent you this case listing. She also knows about the operatic orchid imprinting. She must have seen the thief's fingertips in the case photo and waited on the information, knowing you'd be legally licensed to investigate today, on your birthday. So she didn't solve a crime, an ongoing crime, because she's waiting for my birthday. That's insanely irresponsible. You leap off the roof in the direction of the purple orchid penthouse. Excitement coursing through your veins. This is a very big case. How do you feel about taking it on? The perfect case for me to start with. This case has a lot of money and publicity attached, and while other emerging heroes might not be ready to handle it on their first night out, you certainly are. The Orchid Apartment is in central downtown, so your flight over will be super short. It's also good this thief can afford a penthouse because it'll be easy for you to access by flight. They should all, unless it's a basement, they should all be relatively equal to access by flight. Your first priority is finding the gravitas. By catching the thief but catching the thief would be an added bonus. What's the best way to approach the entry? First option, hover near the window to see if anyone is home, then act accordingly. As the ritzy high-rise comes into view, you can already see Grandma's purple orchids on the balcony. You relax your muscles and slow your pace as you approach the building, which proves difficult as adrenaline pulses through your veins. You drop down along the wall, trying to keep out of sight. A building like this is bound to have anti-powered security measures. Hovering close to the penthouse's window, you peer into the living room to see if anyone is home. Your heart nearly stops when you come face to face with a man standing inside the apartment, inches away from the glass. It is definitely the thief from the case photo, right down to the purple-stained fingertips. Currently, he looks far less regal and far more menacing with the overgrown stubble and long, greasy hair. You freeze, trying to decide what to do. Unfortunately, the thief thinks faster. He whips out a handgun and points it directly at you. How do you defend yourself? Let's shatter the glass with an energy pulse. Panicked, you close your eyes and let out a low-level energy pulse. You hear the glass wall separating you from the thief shatter, and when you open your eyes, the thief's gun lies on the floor. Why'd you close your eyes? What an idiot! Melted beyond repair. How's the thief's hand? A loud alarm begins to sound, and the thief makes a run for it. Luckily, with the glass window now broken, you were able to fly right at him. That was exactly what I thought would happen. As you pursue the thief, and the broken glass part, you expect him to run for the front door, which is why you're puzzled when he heads deeper into the lavishly decorated apartment. You race after him into the master bedroom suite, and as you do, your question about his escape plan is suddenly answered. The thief didn't head for the front door, because he's got a teleportation unit in his bedroom. Kinky. Personal teleportation units were supposed to be the next wave of the transportation future, but the automotive industry piled millions of dollars into the research that revealed the potential cancer risks of atomic fission. So the government had to ban the sale of the units, putting everyone back into planes, trains, and automobiles. This thief doesn't seem to care about potential carcinogens, however, since he is already inside the unit and programming the machine's teleportation course. Without hesitation, you point your hands at the console and let an energy burst rip into the controls. The thief screams and jumps from the smoking unit. I guess that was a free energy burst? Furious, he looks up at you and snarls, "That was a big mistake, rookie." You can barely hear him over the alarm blaring in your ears. You know it's only going to be minutes before the police show up, so you've got to act fast. The thief seems to be thinking the same thing as he jumps to his feet and pulls something out of his belt. What's your best move? We can let loose a powerful energy barrage. Who cares if the thief survives the attack? We can throw up an energy shield to discern the nature of the thief's weapon. We can use an energy crackle to disarm the thief. If he pulls out the rod, stunning him seems great, although I have a sneaking suspicion that they won't be stunned. Let's try the stun. Not wasting a second, you fire a controlled energy beam directly at the thief, but the thief unsheathes an oversized red-hot sword that slices through your blast with ease. I knew it, what a waste. Looks like he has a high-tech energy disruptor blade. Good thing I didn't charge him. I wonder if he would have been disarmed or not. The thief launches at you, and takes a swipe with the blade, an attack you narrowly dodge. He has now come near enough that a close-range attack should take him down. What's your next move? Punching him costs energy? Just do it. Knowing the thief's blade can block your energy attacks, you shift to a physical attack. Smart move. You hold out your fists and hover a few feet off the ground, beginning to spin quickly. A move you like to call the Fists of Fury. It's not that cool, kid. You immediately barrage the thief with a series of spinning punches, knocking the sword out of his hand. How? And sending him reeling across the room. Just as you have the thief disabled, you hear the wail of police sirens from the streets below. Slugger, you curse, knowing you're almost out of time. You still aren't sure if the gravitas is even here in the apartment. You consider your options. You could wait for the police, then work with them to locate the gravitas. This would garner some goodwill with the MCPD, but it also might compromise your access to Schiller's reward. Or you could interrogate the thief before the police arrive and try to find the gravitas on your own, taking all the reward and credit for yourself. But if you do this, you'd definitely be pissing off the MCPD. Why would they be pissed off? Doesn't make any sense. What are you gonna do? Screw the police. I feel like this should be norm for them, working with powered people in this way. Tell me where the gravitas is. You stand over the now defenseless thief, allowing stanky bean energy to crackle across your fingertips. Alright, the thief starts. The gravitas is in the safe, Yeah! The thief knows that you don't have time to check the apartment before the police arrive, so you need to make sure he's telling the truth, which is why you fired a thin energy beam directly through his thigh. Whoa. I did not tell him to do that. Do not lie to me, you growl. Slugger, okay, the thief shouts, writhing on the floor. I was hired to steal the gravitas. I am Tracker. I have the power to discover the location of anything on the planet. So finding it and stealing things is... Stop stalling. Who hired you? You cut him off, hearing the police already banging on the front door. Oh no, no way. That is one bad dude. He will kill me for sure if I... But another energy crackle from you is enough to convince Tracker that you'd be able to give his employer a run for his money. Alright, it was Smither, he screams. I forked the gravitas over to him right away, but that's all I know, I swear. You freeze, because you know exactly who Smither is, and hearing that he's involved is not good news. As the front door comes crashing down, you knock Tracker out with one swift punch. You then pull out a small card that reads Taserface. Even though you don't want to work with the police, they should still know the name of the hero who helped them out on this case. You drop the card on Tracker and run for the window, bursting outside just as the police come swarming into the bedroom. Next chapter, Smither, Vice, and everything splice. That's a good name for a chapter. My nose slightly lit up that time. Still not the best thing ever, though. I need to drink some water. This is a good episode, though. This is action-packed. I have no idea if I did things right. I'm definitely slipping more to the dark side than I want, but that's where the cookie crumbles, I guess.